modeled on the actual abandoned Pennhurst State School and Hospital in Pennsylvania. USA shut down in 1987 due to inhumane conditions. The Pennhurst State School and Hospital towered like a wounded monument in the woods of Pennsylvania. Shut down for decades following scandal and hardship. Now it was only a curiosity for thrill-seekers and ghost hunters. Mark Delaney, the new night security guard, didn't believe in ghosts. His work was easy. Monitor the cameras, walk around every now and then, and keep an eye out to make sure no one broke in. As he stepped inside the building, the stench of mold and rust filled his lungs. The hallways creaked with the weight of years. The security office was a single room with a wall of flickering monitor feeds from every wing, every hallway, every unused cell. For the first hour, everything was quiet. The building creaked and complained, pipes banging behind walls, the air thick and heavy. Mark drank burnt coffee and reminded himself it was just another night. Then camera 7 flickered. Something or someone was at the end of a long, abandoned hall. Mark crept closer to the screen. The figure was indistinct, its shape vague and white against the night. It didn't move. He took his flashlight and radio. This is private security. The building's closed, please identify yourself. Silence. When he got to the east ward, the hallway went on and on before him. Paint flaked off the walls in curling sheets. A cold breeze caressed the back of his neck. At the other end was a wheelchair parked against the wall. His light shook ever so slightly. Anyone here? The chair rolled back an inch. Mark's breath caught. He was trying to convince himself it was gravity or sloping floors, but then it rolled again, revolving until it looked at him. He moved back, radio crackling in static. And then this small, childlike voice came across. Help us. When his beam of the flashlight landed again on the wheelchair, it was nowhere. Mark rushed back to the security office. His heart was pounding as he monitored the screens. All the camera feeds were shifting. Spaces that were previously vacant now exhibited. Activity figures rushing by doorways. Shadows changing when no one was present. In the hydrotherapy room, the old bathtub filled up. In the children's ward, ancient toys were scattered about in new arrangements. And then, on camera 3, something scrawled in the dust on a glass window. Picked his brain. Stay. The letters were new. He gazed for a few seconds before taking his flashlight a second time. He couldn't account for it, but something was beckoning him to the location. The records room was chillier than the remainder of the building. Files hung from bloated shelves, and one light creaked overhead. Under it was a woman wearing a nurse's uniform, her back facing him. Her fist was wrapped around a patient folder. Mark squinted at the label, lit up by the dim bulb. The name on the file was Delaney Mark. He stiffened. His own name. The nurse spun around, her face deathly pale, her eyes empty, her mouth wide open in a silent scream that echoed in his head. Mark ran, slamming into walls and overturned gurneys in his path. The intercom speakers came alive. Hundreds of overlapping voices echoed in the halls. Patients sobbing, nurses yelling, doctors begging for forgiveness. When Mark arrived at the main door, he pulled on it. It was rusted, closed, unyielding. He yelled for help. His voice came back to him, taunting, boundless. Then, as abruptly as it started, the sound ceased behind him. All the doors along the corridor opened simultaneously. Figures appeared, dozens of them translucent, wavering in and out of being. Their faces were indistinct, their hospital robes dirty and tattered. A small girl's whisper spoke. Near his ear, we remember what they did. And now we remember you. The lights flashed once, and then all went dark. Morning, the research team arrived to retrieve their gear. The security room was vacant. Mark's flashlight rested on the desk, warm to the touch. The cameras kept rolling, but all of the feeds were static except one. On the eastward feed, a single person occupied the desk in the control room. A man in a security uniform. His head was slightly bent, as if waiting. Then he glanced upward. His eyes were hollow, face pale, and he smiled weakly before the screen flickered black. Later, when they watched the tape, the name on the uniform was only seen for an instant: M. Delaney. Nobody ever manned the night shift at Pennhurst again. But sometimes, when the wind is blowing through the gates after midnight, the motion detectors still flash on, and if you listen, you can hear it quiet and persistent. Just over the fence line click. Flashlight on, just doing my rounds,